This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk about Summerslam 2000. Again, another sellout. This time it's in Raleigh, North Carolina, August 27th. There's 17,000 fans in the building, well over $1 million at the gate. It's one of the highest gates in wrestling history at that time. It's the first $1 million gate for an event other than a WrestleMania. So this is a major, major moment. And the night begins with you cutting a promo saying you satisfied Stephanie more than Triple H could. And that led you guys to brawling for more than 3 minutes before the match even started. Meltzer would say the brawl was supposed to end with Triple H giving Angle a pedigree on the Spanish announce table that would break and take Angle out for the match at 15 minutes. All that did happen, except the table broke early, and Angle took a bad bump and was knocked for a loop. Angle was taken to the back, and Triple H and Rock did their typical good match for 15 minutes. Meltzer wrote, Angle's eyes were glazed after landing wrong when the Spanish announcer's table broke before Triple H fully executed the pedigree. While most of the main points of the storyline continued, Angle was taken to the hospital after the show and held overnight for observation. Backstage after the match, before going to the hospital, Angle was saying he couldn't remember anything that took place in the match after he hit his head on the floor when the table broke, causing him to land wrong. Let's just take a time out here. What do you remember about that? And is the report true that you really weren't remembering anything that happened right after?
Well, to go back and explain, that was supposed to happen. I was supposed to pretend to get knocked out.
I see.
And I was started backstage, and I was going to come back for Stephanie and help Triple H try to beat The Rock. She wanted me to help. So that was the whole idea. The thing is, it happened for real. I got knocked out. I mean, really knocked out. When Triple H went to hit the pedigree, he goes down, up, and down to time it. So you can time it when you hit and land on the ground. So when he went down, the table broke early. And he had my arms trapped behind my back. That's how he locks it. So I landed 4 feet below, straight with my head on the concrete. And I was out. Triple H was trying to get my attention. He said I was snoring. Like, wow. I was just out of it. So Triple H improvised, tried to, work on me and beat me up a little bit while The Rock was, I don't think The Rock was out yet, right? He wasn't out from the match yet. So Rock came out, and that's when they wheeled me back. And, I was supposed to be wheeled back. We were supposed to do a pre-tape backstage. Stephanie says, Kurt, could you go back out there? You got to help me. And I had to say, only for you, Steph. I'll do it for you. Problem is, I got knocked out. And when I had to do the pre-tape, Stephanie would tell me what I had to say, and I would say, okay. And then 30 seconds later, I'd say, what am I saying again? I don't know what I'm saying. I couldn't compute what I was going to say. I couldn't remember. So it was a complete nightmare. I don't remember any of it, but the match came across really good. And, the thing is, the outcome was Vince, thought I hit a home run that day. I stepped up for the company, and he said, I'm going to pay you back for this. And he did.
There's a moment on the stretcher, I think, where Triple H was supposed to attack you, but when he gets there, he realizes, oh shit, he's still hurt for real.
Yeah.
So he doesn't do a ton, but eventually when you do get off the stretcher and hit the ring, we really get going, and Rock retains the WWF title over both you and Triple H. It goes 20 minutes and 9 seconds, 3 3/4 stars. Is this the first time you were seriously injured in a wrestling match, a professional wrestling match?
Yes, it's the first time I seriously got my bell rung. And the crazy thing was when Stephanie brought me out after I got injured, after I got knocked out, I came back out with Stephanie. She was assisting me, so she was going to tell me what to do all up until I got into the ring. So she's like, walk with me. And I'd say, well, what am I doing next? She said, just stand next to the ring. When Rock's feet hit the rope, grab his foot and trip him. And I would grab his foot and trip him. And Stephanie was expecting me to pull him out because that's what I was told to do before the match when we were playing the match earlier. But I was just remembering whatever she told me. So if she didn't tell me to do something, I wasn't going to do it. So I only tripped the Rock. I didn't pull him out. And then she looked at me and said, pull him out. So I pulled him out. She looked at me again, said, throw him into the steps. I threw him in the steps. She looks at me and says, get in the damn ring. So I couldn't remember anything that I had to do. And she had to keep reminding me. When I got in the ring, Triple H took over and he was telling me what to do and how to do it. And, there was even a point where he was going to hit me with a hammer, a sledgehammer, and he reached up and grabbed my head because he knew I wasn't going to duck. And The Rock was behind me. So he grabbed my head and we went to hit me with it. He pulled my head down and hit The Rock with it because that was supposed to happen. But I wasn't going to duck because I didn't know.
Right.
So the whole match was like that. It was a freaking nightmare, especially for Triple H and The Rock. They had to carry me that whole match. And I don't even remember anything. I remember going through the table and hitting the floor, and now that's it. I don't remember any other part of the match.
It really is pretty remarkable when you think about.
Can't do that today.
No,
No.
I mean, and I'm just thinking about it from your perspective. You're finally in the main event of a pay-per-view. So this is probably going to be, I don't want you to tell us a number, but this is your biggest payday in wrestling, right?
Yes, without a doubt. Yes.
And you're unconscious for it. You don't remember what to do. It's like, hey, I hope it went well.
What happened? Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing. But of course it happens to me. So I'm not surprised.
But in a weird way, we all know that Vince is a tough guy and has respect for tough guys. I mean, and I know some people will say, oh, Vince ain't a tough guy. Well, he fucking walked around on 2 broken or torn quads on pay-per-view.
Yes,
He's a badass in his own right. And so he has to, and not that anybody doubted any of that from you, but to know that you're going to take this just as seriously as you did the Olympics. And even when it's probably against better judgment and all conventional wisdom to continue the match, you did what needed to be done for the good of his business. You probably had a feather in your cap for whatever was going to come with Vince in the future, right?
Well, that's why, a couple months later, I got handed the world title,
the
WWE championship. And I believe it really occurred because of the SummerSlam match. I really do. I think that Vince might have wanted to hold off till after WrestleMania the following year to get me the title. But when he saw what I did and I stepped up, he said, let's give it to him now. So that's how it occurred.
This is probably an uncomfortable conversation to have, but after an injury like that and a match like that, and you're going to go to the hospital, what does that look like? Does someone in the office take you? Do they call an ambulance? What's that process like that night after a big injury like this and you need to go get checked out? Is anyone with you? Is anyone helping arrange anything? Or are you just flying solo here?
We had a trainer named Chris, and he would go with us to the hospital. So he was with me, and the paramedics are always there at the arena. So I had an ambulance there to take me. So, everything's right there for you to get you to the hospital, and they're going to have a trainer go with you. Nobody else came with me, so I didn't expect anyone else to.
No days off after the injury. You're working on Raw the very next night, although not in a match, but there is a huge argument in the ring with you and Triple H. He shoves you out of the ring, and you grab your head when you hit the floor. Probably not the most advisable thing. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but you suffered a concussion that night, right? You had to.
Yes, I don't think I should have done anything physical the next night. Although it wasn't that much, the spot that I did wasn't that hard to do. So, I'm not sure why I grabbed my head, maybe because Vince wanted me to pretend that the concussion was still affecting me.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
Well, we should also mention too, that because I could see how out of context what we just said could be taken as us sort of shitting on WWE, but we didn't know what we know about head trauma back then that we know now. Like back then, people used to say things like, "Oh, you got your bell rung," right, Kurt?
Yeah. There are phrases. You got your bell rung. You got dinged. But it's very serious now, especially concussions. So if you have any inkling of a concussion, you're not going to be cleared to wrestle to do anything for a while.
Yeah. So with a lot of fans online sometimes saying, "Oh, I miss the way things used to be." Safety of the performers. Well, this is a great improvement from where it used to be. Right?
Without a doubt, the whole drug program they have, the concussion program, how they have created more doctors coming to the arenas, trainers. Everything's available for you. So their catering is excellent, 5-star catering now. Back when I started, you got pizza. So there are a lot of different things. Everything's available to the talent, and this is the best that this company has ever been able to produce for the talent.
There you go.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.